So, I hate League of Legends now. Fuck this game. They've made so many changes. The community shit. There's just so much I don't like about this game. So that's why I really haven't been feeling that inspiration to make videos. But this is a very simple guide for my dude Wahib in how to not be bronze and how to jungle to a somewhat competent level. So we're going to be focusing on Warwick and Xin Zhao because they have not many mechanics. It's fairly simple and they're fairly good duelist, which is strong at the moment, which will be a good thing to focus on. So let's get into it. Keep in mind this is a very basic guide and is done in a very casual format. So here are the runes. These are the runes I use. There is an argument to be made that press the attack should be your primary and blue should be your secondary, but I like phase rush because it helps your ganking a lot. The massive move speed and slow resist is extremely helpful. Take Nullifying Cloak because if you're against an AP jungler, just AP damage in general, it can really help you out in the early game, especially when looking to win those crabs. Celerity because Celerity synergizes Water Walking, and Celerity and Water Walking is just... it is extremely strong since there are so many jewels over crab in the river. Triumph because there's nothing quite as tilting as watching someone get back 12% of their missing health. There's just really nothing else Xin Zhao needs that much, to be honest. And you're probably going to be building tanky, so you're going to want it. And Alacrity, because extra attack speed is good, extra tenacity isn't really worth much. Although the lifesteal might sound like a good idea, you already synergize so well with attack speed. The attack speed is just going to be better for your clear and for fights, and just overall synergy in your kit. So, a quick breakdown of Xin Zhao's abilities. Your passive, every 3 hits, you do a little bit extra damage, and you heal, scale with AD. Q, your third hit knocks someone up. When you activate it, your Q is also an auto attack reset. Scales with some AD. Yeah. Your W is a small half circle slash in front of you, and then a long slash in front. You can always just check the tooltip if you want. It scales heavily with AD, which is why we'll be building warriors. And your E is a dash that deals magic damage and has a massive attack speed increase, which of course synergizes with your already other 3 hit passives. And then your ulti knocks away everyone except the last person you've touched. Essentially, that's like what you need to think about. You dash someone, your ulti knock everyone away from them. It's kind of simple. It deals percentage based damage, but you know. And then anyway, anyone outside of your ult radius can't actually damage you. So what we're looking at here is a pretty basic Xin Zhao clear. Just gonna start bot, start red buff. Starting red buff on Xin Zhao is really great because you can then go mid and go for a cheese gank level 2. Key thing here with these cheese ganks is try and hold your flash, sorry, not your flash, try and hold your E where possible, and if you can, force the enemy flash and then immediately follow up with your E. Even if you don't get the kill, you've exchanged your E, which is a 14-second cooldown, for, a flash. So, right here, that's just simulating the gank mid. Try and always be mindful where the enemy jungler is. Just pretend like you always need to know, like maybe he's in that bush. So that's what you need to be thinking, because you need to assess whether or not you are then capable of taking one of these crabs in the river. Like, if the enemy jungler is waiting for you and you're not high enough health or something, like that could be problematic. So right there, I'm using my abilities after I've CC'd the crab because, it has reduced armor and magic resist after getting hit by CC. So yeah, like this is pretty standard. Cheese ganking mid level 2 is fairly common. Honestly, people should just expect it from Xin Zhao at this point. The red buff really helps because it adds that extra damage, adds the extra slow. That's why it's usually good to start red buff, as well as red buff's extra combat stats when it comes to contesting a crab. So again, it depends what jungler you're up against, but like, say you're up against someone who's going to try and pick that fight in river, you're going to want to be cautious of that, be wary of that. So here, this is kind of like a greedy full clear. I'm not feeling particularly pressured to gank any lane. I mean, it's in the practice tool, but still, like, we're just going to pretend. I'm just clearing through, and yeah, the idea is to clear your camps in such a way that they respawn on the path you take as you take them, if that makes any sense. Because you don't want to take them in such a random order that when Gromp dies, like Krugs respawns, you have to run all the way to Krugs, then you have to run back to Wolves, and it's just that's a waste of time. You waste too much time. For example, here I'm dragging the wolf over closer to where I'm going to walk, so I reduce that time even further. Like it's kind of unnecessary, but that's like a higher level thing to do. Yeah. So on Xin Zhao, we want to be first iteming a warrior with red smite. Red smite helps with the dueling. It's extremely useful. And warrior, because the CDR is really nice on Xin Zhao, and the AD is very useful. You're going to be maxing your W here, and your W scales very well on AD. So here it's just going to be a simulated gank, like we're going to pretend that I've ignored Krugs to go instead gank this Ashe. So after that warrior though, you probably I prefer Trinity Force. That's what I like. Unless you're massively behind somehow already, then go for like a Titanic Hydra instead. Right there in that gank, you may have noticed I held my W until she was already knocked up, so there's no chance of her sidestepping or flashing it. It's something that is important, and that most people aren't going to try and sidestep it, but like again, it just ensures that that W damage is going to come out. So that's a pretty basic guide on how to path. You know, just always make sure that you're going for the most efficient route between camps. You know, sometimes you can change if you need be to go instead focus on. So say you want to camp bot lane. It's understandable to leave camps alive on blue side. Like in that scenario, like say I really want to camp bot lane, which I've done this kind of thing before, where I'll leave some camps up blue. Don't feel as pressured to go for those camps if you really want to instead ruin someone's day by camping on a specific lane. Now onto the build. We are going to go Warriors Red Smite. Gives you a lot of snowball potential early. Helps you duel. CDR's great. AD's great. Just items great. It's good fun. And so yeah, if you're not horrendously behind, just go Trinity Force. I find that is most useful if I want to do damage. Like as Xin Zhao, you're not gonna be a full-on one-man carry with this build, but at the same time, like you kind of need you need to be tanky to live. Like the Korean crit builds and shit like that. And that works in Korea, but this is bronze. So I'd say 100%. I'd say go Trinity if you're anything other than massively behind. Maybe go Black Cleaver instead if you're behind. From there, we approach this handy-dandy guide that Wahib you already have a copy of. And yeah, we're going to break this down right now. So this is pretty basic. Say you're up against a team and they're mostly magic damage dealers. You know, and the magic damage dealers are doing okay. You know, they're not behind. They're going to be dealing damage to you. So if we apply this map right here to Xin Zhao, does you or your team have healing? Xin Zhao's kit has healing. Yes, his passive heals. You know, I'd go Spirit Visage. So then and then if we were to move further down the tree, does your team have significant AP damage? Do you have I don't know, do you have a Talia that wants to do even more teamfight damage? You buy that Abyssal Mask for her. If your enemy team has dots, so say you're up against Teemo, you know, Adaptive Helm's going to help against a Teemo, and then if you have no idea, Locket is never bad to have on your team. Locket is always helpful to your team to win the game. This is somewhat. You have to build to the situation. I can't just give you one build that will always work. You have to build to the situation. Yeah, generally you're going to want to prioritize that Spirit Visage if you need MR. But if the enemy team is a Singed, Teemo, Anivia, Azir, if for some dumbass reason that's their team comp, then the Adaptive Helm is just going to be better in that scenario. You still have to think a little bit. But anyway, yeah, but say I don't know, say they have a lot of just AD damage. The important thing to do, a lot of bronze players don't get, is, are you being carried? A lot of these Yasuo players or Zed players, they sit there, they're 0-11, FF guys, you know, it's unwinnable. Because, they're obsessed personally with carrying. It might not be unwinnable. Your team might actually be doing well, they're just doing badly, and they're just too obsessed with carrying the game themselves that they can't handle it, they just want to have FF. So yeah, if you have that Tristana, who for some reason is 10-0 at 15 minutes, because this is bronze, anything can happen. If she's going to carry your ass, you need to recognize that you're going to, that you're getting carried. This is especially useful if you've fed, if you've done badly, and you know you're going to get carried here. Then buying a nice value, and you chuck that on your carry, and you just help them carry you that little bit easier. Onto this next part. It is a bit controversial here, with between Thornmail and Randuin's in terms of priority. Maybe if I was against completely old crit comp, I think maybe I'd prioritize the Randuin's first. But generally, it's going to help to have that Grievous Wounds. When bullshit like Vladimir exists in the game, Grievous Wounds is going to help your team a lot. And it does still provide auto-attack slow, so it is useful against auto-attackers. So yeah, and then Randuin's obvious, that helps against crit. It really shits on Yasuo, who already does reduce crit damage. It is a great item. Definitely very useful late game as well. So moving on, if you need Engage, and these other, categories haven't been filled, you know, if these criteria for the other ones haven't been met and you need Engage, Righteous Glory is always great. A Rammus with a Righteous Glory can be terrifying. There's some champions in the game who highly benefit from Righteous Glory, things like Darius, Alistair, they do. I personally generally find I don't need to build Righteous Glory, but, you know, whatever. Sunfire Cape, you're probably not going to build this. Realistically, you're probably not going to build this on... You're definitely not building on any of the junglers we've discussed today. Like, that's not happening. Like, you're probably not ever going to build that item on a jungler. You either have Wave Clear or you've built Xin Zhao, generally. Like, that's... Yeah. Dead Man's Plate is more of a greedy item. Provides armor and health, but at the same time, like, it gives you a little bit of burst of damage. It's 100... Gives like 100 AP damage in your next auto if it's fully charged, and the extra move speed helps with roaming. I personally will often use Dead Man's because I like to play that little bit greedier, but if you're bronze, we're sticking to the basics here, right? Like, we just want to get through. I added the Ohm Wrecker in because I like memes. Don't buy the Ohm Wrecker. If you're getting to the point where the only viable item you see is Ohm Wrecker, like, either your client is, like, your game's bugged, or you need better glasses. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe loosen that helmet up a little bit again, because, of course, if you don't loosen that helmet, then your blood flow is going to be a little bit too constricted and you're going to struggle to play. It's the same thing with just keeping your monitor on while you play. Like these, I consider these pretty obvious tips, but you never know. So next I'm just going to aim to provide some clips of how Xin Zhao would work. I'm pretty sure I've got a few on my hard drive here and on like some early ganks that you could potentially imitate or pull off yourself. So here I'm having a typical red buff start. I'm pretty confident Jax has started his red side as well, because most players prefer to get a leash from bot side, and red buff's a nice start. That's my personal preference. So this one, I'm pretty sure I just go for the scuttle here because I can. I'm pretty sure Jax isn't going to be here to contest it. I have my smite ready if he is. Jax 1v1 early is with Xin Zhao is a bit of a skill matchup. It's about timing. It's about not letting him dodge your Q, your Q empowered autos. But anyway, for this, so I'm going for the scuttle, and I'm already looking mid. I'm looking for that gank. So what's going to happen here is that this gank, I do E immediately here, because I have the option to follow up with my flash. Like, if you E immediately, you can be ready to flash. And the key thing here is, I get my 2 autos off, and so my 3rd auto's empowered, I flash, knock him up, and my Yasuo gets his shit together and jumps on him. Easy first blood. Like, that's how easy to play Xin Zhao it is. I don't really have anything to go back on, and I have a lot of money. I have pots though, I have smite up. That's enough, and this champion's kind of bullshit already. He does not have a weak clear, like some other champions, so this is a free clear. Like, I can just keep going, and you should see that I don't struggle to clear this. It's not a problem. And I'll probably fast forward a bit here, but like I end up going for the scuttle as well. I successfully get that. It's always good to check if the scuttle is up. Scuttle gives a lot of gold, a lot of XP. That stupid ass patch where they double, like, it is a significant objective. In bronze, we're going to assume that no one comes out of their lanes to help you fight over it. It's an important objective, but it's definitely not worth dying over. Like, sometimes you watch teams that aren't coordinated, just like 5 men, all 5 of them die, and it's just like, Worth got the scuttle. Like, no, it's not Worth. Like, this right here, free uncontested scuttle. So yeah, it's mine now. I mean, I can't exactly just give a foolproof time to always go for scuttles, but like, if you're not confident with the duel, don't bother killing yourself over scuttle, it's not worth it. Big thing in the junglist, I'll always look for a pause. Like, right there, I know Luxus flashes down. And it's just always about paying attention to the map. Like, that right there's a free gank. I E in early because I can. In fact, that was probably a mistake there. Maybe I could have saved that E a little bit longer. That's unfortunate. I probably could have done that better. But still, like, as a jungler, always be looking around. Like, you have plenty of time. It's not like you have to last hit these creeps. They're jungle monsters anyway. So you always look for gank opportunities. I've got my red smite now. I've got my boots. Boots are great in jungler. It helps you gank better. Helps just the way you clear. Boots are great. With my red smite, that gives me a lot of confidence to counter. That's not to counter, sorry. It gives me a lot of confidence to duel. And at the moment, I'm just clearing my red side. I did spend a lot of time down at blue side because I thought there might be something to do there, but there wasn't. As you may notice in this clip, clearing Krugs is a bitch. In fact, sometimes I just ignore Krugs because it takes too long. Anyway, I'm just doing my clear. So I went chickens to Krugs, and then I'm clearing down to wolves. Gromp should be coming up. Be a great time. I see the scuttle's up, and I move to see if I can secure a scuttle here. Conscious that Jax may be here, but I'm fairly confident in my ability to duel him at this point. So as I take it, I'm pretty sure end up seeing Jax mid. I see the red buff coming up, so I'm going to go investigate the red buff, see if I can maybe get something there. So I know the Jax is mid, which means this red buff is pretty much free for me. I'll ward just in case he comes from mid lane so I can see it coming. I have vision of the enemy on the map, so I feel safe in doing this. It's not a good idea to try and fucking invade and steal shit when you can't see the enemy jungler or the enemy bot lane. Like, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it there because this is a pretty boring game. I didn't get to do much. I just farmed up, did the best I could, but there was, teammates did not quite perform as stellar as possible, and it ended up being quite a one-sided stomp. So there's not much else to learn there. Oh, I hope it just did demonstrate some basic, like I did some early pathing, early gank. It's pretty basic shit. Next game, I took the same path. It's, again, maybe not the most efficient path, but I really wanted that scuttle crab. So, as we should quickly see after I take this scuttle crab, I am constantly looking at the map, and as I begin to take the scuttle crab, Swain is hard pushing against this Garen. He is a ranged champion, Garen is melee, Swain has more wave clear, like, he should push in, and I'm expecting this. So, instead of cheese ganking mid, which isn't that optimal, this Swain, who was massively pushed up, I instead go for him. And in this gank, you'll quite clearly see I walk up this time. I don't E onto him immediately because it's top lane, I don't have to have plenty of time to walk. Charge up my knock up. He flashes, I just instantly dash, knock him up, Garen flashes, free kill, and we walk out. I can keep the Garen safe, and I go back to my clear. So here we can see an interesting event as I go to clear my blue. I'm so it's a bit risky, and the Vi jumps over the wall. Now again, I don't win this fight. If I had mana, maybe I could. But the great advantage here is my Ahri immediately comes over to help. And this is really botched. Like, I missed the smite here. I could have done so much better. My smite was not perfect at all. But what you're going to see here from this play is that invading just isn't worth it. Generally. Like, unless you're sure you can execute it perfectly. And let's be realistic. If you're Wahib, you're bronze. Like, these people, like, they aren't good enough to invade. So I just pick up a free kill for that. So she's already died once, having accomplished, like, cool, she stole my blue buff. I got my blue buff back. I got a kill. She baited her mid lane, and now her mid lane is dead. Like, the risk of invading in lower elo isn't worth it. Your teammates are not necessarily guaranteed to respond. And then, like what have you done? You die, you throw away your life. As a jungler, that's reduced clear speed. Now you're open to getting counter-jungled. And here, for example, we just, thanks to a heavily coordinated team, I was not in a call with these people. They just moved with me, amazingly. So now we get a free dragon. We got 2 free kills. And, like, all because this Vi felt it necessary to counter jungle my blue. Like, she went for an aggressive counter jungle that wasn't actually necessary. This is why I say, if you want to win games, as a bronze player, don't counter jungle. And then she jumps in again. So, of course, we're going to have some deaths here. I carefully kite that. Get another free kill on the Vi. She's pretty much, like, she's inting at this point. Like, hello? What was that? And you might have seen that, the phase rush coming in handy. That helped me kite that well. But, like, that was an unnecessary counter jungle that resulted in her dying twice in a row, setting her back massively. We got a dragon and kills for it. That was not worth it. Like, overall, that was better for us. That was a better trade for us. Just another example of map awareness here. I see an extremely low health Anivia. Like, again, you may be sitting here going like, wow, this person's dumb, but, like, that's literally, a bronze player might do this. Like, this is what some people play. And she plays greedy. She doesn't back from tower. So I flash the wall so I can get an E range, instantly kill her, because I can see that she's another revive up. And then, that's another free kill. I'm just getting the snowball rolling. And I'm getting in a position that I can snowball this game hard as Xin Zhao. I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but let me emphasize map awareness as a jungler. If right now I'm backing, I don't need to be watching anything. I can instead be looking for map awareness, like looking at what's going on. Like right there, the Ahri actually somehow managed to get away from that. And I see her still going, and that Vi's there. So right now, I'm pathing straight to her. Another player might have just been blindly not paying attention. They might have just been waiting to go clear the next camp. Instead, I come straight over, because I'm paying attention to the map. And because of it, I get to secure a kill here, even though Ahri dies. Right there, I used my W earlier. Like I used my W earlier, like before she was knocked up, just because I could get that. Like it was easy to hit. I wasn't going to miss it. Like that wasn't going to make the difference there. Right here, due to some interesting play by my teammates, they died. I'm just taking farm. The enemy team, while too low, stays around. They don't have the numbers advantage they used to anymore, and I'm fairly fed at this point. Like I'm in a strong position, and they stay around for some reason. This guy plays way too aggressive. I have the Ahri backing me up. Like, this is, again, free kills. Like, sometimes when you're playing jungle, it feels so goddamn easy. Because people just, like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, right there, what was he thinking playing that aggro? A big part, I feel, about not being bronze is to don't play greedy. Like, sometimes it is turning your brain on. Like, what was that Mordekaiser doing there? He had no reason to be there. There was no reason to play that aggressive when you know the Fed Xin Zhao's there. And, like, this is just snowballing me even harder at this point. Like, yeah. At this point, the game's pretty easy for me. Like, this is, again, like, pushed up, no wards. Like, I can just easily walk in here and get a free kill. I missed the W there. Again, like, that is right there. That is the risk of firing a W before you knock them up. I had the opportunity there to be greedy, and I took it. And, like, again, it didn't make a difference, and that's why I could do it. Right here, I just got to defend this tower. Another big thing here, like, all I try and do here is I'm not trying to go in hard. I pose a risk. I'm scary, but I'm still squishy. I'll still blow up instantly. Like, look at my build. I have no health items. So all I'm trying to do here is convince them to get the hell off the tower. And then they back out for safety. It's great. I took Mobies here because I wanted more map presence. Mobies lets you run around more. As a bronze player, that's probably not going to make a difference. So you probably just want to go with Merc Treads if they have a lot of CC, or Tab Eyes if they have a lot of auto attacks. Like, don't bother with Merc Treads. Sorry, don't bother with Merc Treads are good. They stop the CC. If they have lots of CC, buy Merc Treads. Mobies just aren't going to make that much difference in bronze, I'm going to say. At this point, we're just like, I can walk through the team. Like, it's going pretty well. I haven't even hit my massive power spike of Trinity. You should notice that even though I'm fed, I still don't have that Trinity. Trinity is an extremely expensive item. And it is, you know, like, this is why if you're behind, don't bother going for the Trinity, because you're just going to be useless for too long. Managed to snipe the Inhibitor over the wall with my W. You know, we secured that kill. I managed to dash over with my E. This was just, I'd say, a well-played fight. And then we just immediately go for the tower. A big thing, you know, a lot of Challenger players, they like to sit there and say, bronze players don't know how to finish a game. That's true. Kills mean nothing if you can't do anything with them. Right there, we've killed two of their players. We've killed a strong mage and a strong wave clear mage. And we take tower. And we immediately go for the next objective. As a jungler, this is often considered your job, and especially if you want to carry games, you have to be looking for what objectives to take. Like, is now a good time to take dragon? Can I take this dragon risk-free? Like right now, they have a disadvantage. We have 4 people. This is a free Rift Herald. And a free Rift Herald is generally a free tower. Towers win games. I maybe have too much of a focus on trying to get an inhib, because as soon as I get one inhib, that means one inhib, it means I can, like, say I get bot inhib, that means I can push top, and I go for top inhib, and now the enemy attention is split. But yeah, like, you just always want to be thinking about, like, just what objective to take, like, what should I be doing right now, and just focus on objectives. Like, kills are just, it's fun to get kills in normals, like, this is a normals, yeah, you greed for kills, even, just don't end the game just to get more kills if you want, but if you actually want to, like, rank up, it's all about getting towers and ending the game. Don't screw around. Get those towers down as fast as possible. Get into the enemy base. Get those inhibs. Finish the game. I forgot to mention earlier on Xin Zhao, so we max W, then you max E second. Anyway, on this video is way longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna have to end it here. Don't get to go really in depth in Warwick. Warwick's a pretty simple champion though. Max W, then you can max E or Q after. Honestly, it's up to preference a bit. Not much mechanical skill to Warwick, realistically. You can hold Q to follow flashes and dashes. Definitely do that. Definitely try that out. It's pretty odd to look at. With Warwick's ult, you generally don't want to go for snipes. You just want to you want to fear them with the E and then chain that into your ulti. It's a lot of just CC. It's a long CC. It makes Morgana's Q look like nothing. In terms of build, you want to get Tiamat early if possible. Like you're going to start Machete Rejuvenation bead, and you want to try and get that Tiamat on the first back. If you can't get the Tiamat, just go for the Red Smite, and then get your Tiamat. So yeah. But assuming you manage to get a decent clear going, you get your Tiamat, then after the Tiamat, you build into your Red Smite. You're going to go into Cinder Hulk instead of Warrior. And then, yeah, and then you end up turning your, your Tiamat into a Titanic Hydra. And then from there, it's the same as Inzo. You just follow the handy-dandy guide, you build like a tank. You know, and yeah, you should have a pretty good time with Warwick. I suppose the other thing to maybe of note is that due to Warwick's enhanced lifesteal below 50%, some fights that do not look immediately winnable you may actually be more in your favor than you think when you're low health, just because of the amount of healing it gets. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of much else at the moment. 100%. Any questions? I mean, like, Wahib, you can always just fucking send me a message. If anyone else is watching this, 100% you just leave a comment and I'll just try and answer it. Yeah, this is really rushed. This is very casual. I've probably missed so much shit, but it's just designed to give the simplest, way to jungle. Just 2 champs that are reasonably strong right now, and it's meant to be very basic. There's so much shit. Like, if you look at Challenger players, there's so much shit they're constantly doing, they're constantly thinking about. It's too much. If you just want to not be bronze, that's the success criteria here. We're just gonna start small. We're gonna start simple, and just focus on this shit. Like all this challenger shit, like with all the invades and like all this advanced warding and stuff. That's not like it's important if you're high elo, but you're bronze. So it's really not gonna make that much of a difference. Like at this point in time, you just need to focus on the basics. But yeah, if you manage to master those basics, a lot of it is just doing it over and over again, getting that personal experience. But yeah, once you master those basics, you just get more experience, and you'll be able to naturally improve. Like the higher up you get on the ladder, I'd say the easier it is to improve to some extent because you're with players that also want to improve. It can be a great learning experience. But anyway, that's it. Good night, all. Oh, and for fuck's sake, I forgot the rune page. On Warwick, don't take Phase Rush. Press the attack, and then Triumph, Alacrity. For the bottom one, I don't know, take whatever the hell you want. I don't know, coup de grace. And then on your secondary tree, you take blue. You just take Celerity Water Walking. That again, Celerity Water Walking, ridiculous in the river. Like, and you're going to be fighting the river because you want the scuttles. Anyway, that's all. Good night.